You want weirdness? What do you hear about this next story? Something very strange happened this weekend in Greece, and I believe in many ways it's being covered up. And the reason it's being covered up is because the people that witnessed this bizarre occurrence in Greece, so local civilians said that they were kept at quite a distance. They weren't allowed to get near this thing at all, which I'll tell you what it is in a second. They were being kept, and you cannot come near this. You can't take photographs of it. You can't go anywhere near this. Interesting, right? It's like a UFO crash almost. So what happened? Well, it was a Ukrainian cargo plane filled with weapons that picked up in Serbia. So picked up weapons in Serbia, we think, according to the initial reports. And again, we're going to get more information about this. Then it crashed on its way to Bangladesh. Now,
that's not on the way to Ukraine.
Right. Now, it was a Ukraine cargo plane. So if I'm pitching you a story and I'm like, hey, I have an idea for a new Tom Clancy novel, right? Here's the story. It starts out with this thriller, right? It's a Ukrainian cargo plane. It crashes after picking up weapons in Serbia on its way to Bangladesh. And after it crashes, the rescue workers who go to investigate the crash notice a bizarre white substance scattered all over the ground. And this mysterious substance is causing all of these rescue workers and first responders to have all of their lips go numb and extremities to act all odd. Wouldn't you say, no, that's too crazy? Maybe you could pitch me a story about, we bring back dinosaurs in a park and call it Jurassic Park. That would be more believable than this story. So when this started unfolding on Saturday, I thought, whoa, this smells really, really weird. This is a really bizarre story. Well, an excellent journalist, Diliana, and I always butcher her last name. She's a Bulgarian journalist. She's broken a lot of big stories about chemical weapons and bioweapons, covering Bulgaria, Ukraine. She's done all sorts of excellent journalism over the years. She writes at armswatch.com, and she's been digging into the story. So this Ukrainian plane crash reveals U.S. deals of U.S. sanctioned Serbian arms dealer. His name is Slobodan Tesic. Let's go through this a little bit here because it's very bizarre. This is the remnants of the plane crash. Do we have the video of the plane crash also, Philip? Let's roll this because this is what was happening. So it was on fire. People were seeing this fireball coming into the sky. This plane was already on fire before it hits the ground. Why is it on fire? Why over?
Are you asking me to
I'm
answer
asking,
that?
why over Greece was this Ukrainian cargo plane on fire? And then it proceeded to explode and explode and explode. And then there's this bizarre white substance, which you can see here in the photos on my laptop, all over the place, which was causing people to have their lips were going numb as they were standing there looking at this.
Someone in the chat says Viagra.
Maybe.
I don't think that.
Would your lips go numb? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Don't ask me.
I can think of something that would do that, but it'd be an entirely different story because are they sure they were weapons and not drugs?
No, we're not sure about anything. What is the substance that you're referring to?
I mean, I'd be thinking of white stuff, white powder, right? Then that, I guess, right? But a fire brigade official told reporters that firefighters felt their lips burning and white dust was floating in the air. The substance has been examined, not found to be radioactive or biological materials, a material hazardous to public, the local mayor said. The plane had been chartered to transport weapons from Niš to Bangladesh, with 2 scheduled stops in Jordan and Saudi Arabia. Both of them are countries bordering on war zones, Syria and Yemen. Now, according to the Serbian defense minister, the dangerous cargo included 11 tons of illuminating mortar shells and mortar shells for training in the Bangladeshi army. Okay, so just to be clear, this is a Ukrainian cargo ship. Like, where are these weapons being paid? Were the weapons coming out of Ukraine? Which begs an entirely different question, right?
Right.
If we're paying for all sorts of weapons to be used against Russia in Ukraine, why are they
sending them to other battles?
Right. Why are they flying weapons out of Ukraine in a Ukrainian cargo? How does Ukraine have a cargo plane that they can be transporting weapons if they're literally begging us for $60 billion to fund a proxy war? Like, they're literally running guns to Bangladesh. Like, that's what Zelensky's army is also doing. This thing stinks to high heaven. Like, what the hell's going on here? So who's the real owner of these weapons? Is this guy, perhaps? which is, here he is, Slobodan Tesic. Now, according to her reporting at Arms Watch, Serbian media have asked if the owner of this LLC, Valir Doo, is the Serbian arms dealer Slobodan Tesic, even though his name is not listed anywhere. Now, Tesic has been described by the U.S. Treasury Department as being among the biggest dealers of arms and munitions in the Balkans, right? He's on a U.S. sanctions list. We do not work with this guy unless he changes his LLC name literally short time ago, and is now basically, reveals that U.S. deals of U.S. sanctioned Serbian arms are going into Bangladesh. So he changes his LLC name, and now we're totally fine with it on the U.S. Treasury Department's website as somebody who would violate sanctions if we worked with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can, so many questions. They're all
Yes.
flying out of me. So it would be okay to work with him. So then you think the U.S. is involved in this? I mean, it feels like
I don't
it
know.
is
I mean,
indicating
I don't know.
that-
8 people were killed. Why the hell? I mean, why the hell was this thing on fire ahead of time?
Yes.
Right? What is this white powder that's causing all of these people's lips to go numb and these, burns on their bodies? 8 people are killed. Why are we making pit stops in these random places to pick up arms to transport to Bangladesh? Is it going to Bangladesh? Is it going to Myanmar?
Well, not random, given that the two places that you mentioned, the United States is involved in conflicts in
Right.
Syria and Yemen.
Right.
So
is this the way that we get around
that's
this?
an easy thing to connect.
How often are these arms, how often are these arms deals happening that we just don't even know about? Well, I'm sure, we're all sitting here laughing about that, right? But literally a Ukrainian cargo plane, how often are these little puddle jumps happening? We're just going to land in Jordan. We're going to land in Saudi Arabia. We're popping off in Serbia. We're lining up all of these mortars and ammunition rounds to fly to Bangladesh. Here's what the U.S. deal says, according to Arms Watch. While Tesic has been under U.S. sanctions, meaning that he cannot deal with any company in the U.S., his LLC has exported 249 tons of Serbian weapons to the United States, according to U.S. imports data and public records. In 2020 alone, the company declared $15.5 million annual revenue just since its incorporation. Okay,
Wow.
all of these, look at this. Look at all of this, right? All of these different arms that of cartons of small cartridges of caliber Luger weapons, ammunition, right? Cartridges, let's see, I'm looking through the cartridges, small arms caliber, 19 millimeter, on and on. Pallets, 17 pallets. Look at all this stuff. 17 pallets. Here's another one, packed on 20 pallets. 1,280 cartons of cartridges of small arms class. Unbelievable. Into Charleston, South Carolina via Germany. So it's okay. And he literally, after he was sanctioned by the United States, he literally just pops up and creates a new LLC a few weeks later, 2 weeks later, and he's back sending weapons on behalf of the U.S. government. And
To the U.S. government. If you scroll down further, it says the buyer of many of these is an American company.
Yeah, Nemo Arms Incorporated imported 150 tons of ammunition in 2021. With the exporter being Valir Doo. The cargo was transported by sea from Bar, Croatia to Wilmington, Delaware. Look at that. I mean, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, we're supposed to be sending things out, not in. Apparently. What were you going to say, Philip?
Well, it kind of answered that point of it. Was like, I thought the U.S. government was importing them, but if it's going to a private company, that's a little bit different. But I mean, this just it just smacks of CIA kind of Iran-Contra stuff. That
Right.
we're so happy to give, $40-50 billion worth of weapons to Ukraine, and then suddenly these weapons are being transported around to Syria to Bangladesh. It sounds to me like some backdoor CIA stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know.
It's too strange to be.
Well, I just want to know how you have a Ukrainian cargo plane that's transporting arms to somewhere that's not Ukraine at this moment.
Right.
Right. That to me is a real. And then the other piece of this, of course, is why the hell was it on fire and going down? Number two. And the third piece, Well, if there's fourth, fifth, the third piece is what the hell's a white substance causing people's faces to go numb, right? And entire towns are being told, hey, you don't go near this, don't go anywhere near this. This could be a very dangerous, who knows what the hell it is at this point. But the fact that Deliana is covering this story, and she's been watching bioweapons and covering the bioweapons labs in Ukraine and other areas, she's been doing amazing work on this. There's a lot of questions.
Thank you so much for subscribing to our channel. We've been banned, we've been blocked, we've been censored. That's why we started our own website, to stay connected with you for free.
That's right. So head on over to redacted.inc and make sure you're connected with us. You can sign up again at redacted.inc, not .com.